Hi, it's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Today I have something special to show you, and here we go. I have a autumn fall journal here that I'm going to show you, and within it are new things like the Cottage Flowers cardstock from Michael's, brand new, and really old stuff. The oldest, I think, is from before 1900. Things like this, 1954. It's a calendar, a monthly almanac. And so I'll start with this. I made a stretchy, lacy thing to hold the journal closed. And we'll start with the front pocket. This is cardstock. It's a couple layers of cardstock. Has a metal piece that you can write something in. The card will come out. My fingers aren't working right. Has a little dangle with a key on it. And you'll see much of the fabric and the lace repeated within the journal, just for cohesion, and some stamping done. Here is a writing board. I usually try to include a writing board in each journal that I make because I like to write on something firm, and when you have stuff on the pages, sometimes that isn't useful. So the writing board goes here in the front pocket, and it has some of my handwritten calligraphy with the word thankful on it, and some cloth and some tracing paper. And what I try to do with this journal is focus on textures. I'll take all the tags out. I won't put them back in as I go through because my angle is awkward for taking out and putting back in. So this first one is a bag. It's a paper bag. It's like this one here. This one I added a little brad. I'll send this along too, filled with some extras. And the tag goes in there. And I've got some crunchy paper here, two different kinds of fabric, and just a simple flower with a brad. I would say that this journal is probably more simple than usual, but still decorated. There's lots of space for writing. And I tried to include things new and old. There's some die cuts, three-dimensional, again, texture. You run your finger over it, it's a leaf. It's a little more interesting than just a flat thing. And this paper is from this collection. This is tea-dyed paper. It's very heavy. This particular paper comes bright white. And it takes tea dye beautifully. And I put some of laced oilies over top so you can see that the image, the design showed through with the tea dye. And this here is a photograph that someone special took. I'll link to her below on Etsy. And you see how the lace of the window, to me it just echoed this lace dimension from the tea dye. And I backed it with a pre-1900 it's a dictionary page. And whenever you see the old dictionary pages, I've tried to add these translucent sticky notes. You can remove the sticky notes. It takes a little bit of the ink off, but it makes it easier to write on it. This here is a tea-dyed and distress inked CD package, and you can see that so you can put something in here, but this also makes a pocket here. And this is from the new cardstock. This is so I thought about attaching it to the page here with glue, and then it's meant to be a flip out, like so. And you can put something over top of that to write on it. But maybe you don't want this page here. Maybe you want to use it for something else. So what I've done is I've just used a paper clip to put it in there. And if you notice here, This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, but I wanted to have a waterfall effect. So you can see all the different textures. This is tracing paper that's been painted with watercolor. This here is the other half of the Edith Holden page you'll see later on with some cardstock attached. This is a very much a lighter tea-dyed piece of paper. And then here, the Southworth paper that is majority of the extra papers that you see. It's a Southworth linen resume style paper. So it's got a little tag that goes into a corner here. And it's to emphasize all the different textures. Here's that tracing paper. Do you hear how it crunches? It's just delicious. And I tore it so it has a raggedy edge. And this is probably one of the first journals that I haven't clipped all of the corners. Some of the corners, yes, I couldn't restrain myself. I did round them. Again, this is from this cardstock collection. Now this is paper that I've painted with watercolor. Sorry, words aren't coming today, dear. And I backed it with the white part of the napkin, you know, when you pull it apart. This is the white part, and it helps give it some strength. And because this paper is so old, it is delicate. You'll see on the piece on the other side. I've put some washi on the bottom here, and the washi is a bit shiny and smooth. So you've got the texture of the soft napkin. You've got the texture of the smooth, old paper. And then you've got a Tim Hortons wrapper. Now this is a vintage piece. This is prior to 1919, I guess. It'd have to be, because this is a banknote original with, can you see the Canada postage stamp? That's with the King Edward the 5th 2-cent stamp, and then decorated on the back. There's a video of me doing this. And I put it in here because you could see the Edith Holden cutout of the leaf behind it. This is older ledger paper. I don't know how old this was in my mother's stuff when I was clearing out her apartment condo. Music paper, 1930s newspaper, music paper. And this is just a little card that I did. Did you say tea time? Because to me, it's when the fall, the autumn, the cooler weather is when it's fun to bring out the tea. And this is a paper. It's meant for tea, like loose tea. So I stuck a real tea bag in there. It's Sunny Dandelion Root Tea, herbal tea. And here we are. Here's the middle of the signature. Now this journal has about 30 pages, so 60 double sides, and all different kinds of paper. Here's some words that I cut out with the Cricut, and an apple shape and a leaf shape. And here is a belly band. This is a collaged belly band with some of my I was practicing how to do the calligraphy, or whatever we're calling it. More the other side of the music paper, and this one I gave you a few sheets of the, can you see them? I hope you can see them on them. See, they're translucent. And here's the other side of the Tim Hortons. I just put a little piece of lace up there. And this is a vintage ginger ale label. So I collaged a little bit on this side. And you've got a tag. I said I was taking the tags out, wasn't I? And more of that. A lot of these things are from Ontario, the vintage things. And the reason is I'm originally from Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph area. That's where I grew up. So the lady that gave me these things, she gifted them. She knew that, so she passed along some of the Ontario things, like like this, and you'll see some others. But I just noticed on this one here is Lake Temiskaming, and that's on the border between Ontario and Quebec. And I've been there. More of that page that's been covered by the napkin. And I've used the washi at the bottom just to strengthen it. And here is, now I put some tea dye paper on the back of this scrapbook paper because it's very white on the other side. It just didn't, yeah, I didn't like it as much. So this is a little notebook. A little bit of collage here, some of the crunchy paper. And more of the crunchy paper. Now you can write on this, that works fine. And this here is a, it's a mailer that's been tea dyed and then covered with different things. And I made this flip out little dried flower, whatever you call it. And I've pinned it on, and inside is some collaged paper to write that's been sewn around. So I just put it in here like, how did I do it? I wanted to have this on this side so you could see it. See? Like that. Again, textures. The texture of the sewing, the texture of the translucent vellum, I guess it is. And it's not real lacy, it's not real girly. It just has this textural vibe for some reason. Edith Holden page. This here, this is from the Cottage Flowers collection. But this is from 1944. It was an envelope. And the top piece here is the rectangular part at the back. I just thought it was really cool. It's from the House of Assembly to the President of the Ontario Agricultural College in Guelph. Yeah. My father-in-law worked at what went from the Agricultural College to Guelph University. So that was kind of fun from Guelph. Here's some more of this linen. It was a sheet that I tore up. I bleached and then I tore up and stamped on. And some of this very strong tea-dyed paper, and it dried it on a pizza pan. So you see how the holes, they've darkened. And this is more of a different kind of encyclopedia from, I don't know, the late 1800s, not quite 1900. And the other side of the photo was some Edith Holden and the lace curtains, so that it complemented this tea dye. And this here are 2 book pages. What I've done is I've attached it here. And if you want, you could glue this down. And here's the reasoning. Oh, I did the little flip thing here. Here's the reasoning. When you open this up, you can see, I hope you can see, this is, so the book pages are from, I think, the late 1800s again. Late, yeah, not quite 1900. And I've put, it's a double spread and a glassine bag with some tags here. And it's all, it's the Edith Holden image again. And the Edith Holden images are from October and November. I think this one might be from December. But again, it's all fall vintage vibe. And the last page. So if you want, you can attach this so it's permanently in there. And if not, you know, use it somewhere else or do what you like with it. Yeah, so that's, and the last one here is just a Happy Thanksgiving printed on linen, or that's the sheet. And I've done very light ink around the outside of things. It's a walnut stain, but it's not done a lot. And then, oh, sorry, I had to show you the back. It's a double pocket. It has 2 tags. This one, with a little brad. And this one, with an Edith Holden image. I used a little bit of washi because I discovered when I put it in and out of the pocket, it would catch, and I didn't like that, even when I glued it down. So imagine somebody just put this on a page and put a piece of tape over it. Yeah. And that's the journal. That's the autumn journal. And it's going to be in my Etsy store. It is 6 by 9. That's what it measures. And the pages inside are 8.5 by 11 that I folded in half, so that fit quite well. It's a nice feeling journal, and you can hear it go crunch, crunch, crunch. It's probably mostly the tracing paper that I painted. So textural, that's probably the best way I can talk about it. It's got lots of textures. This is watercolor paper. I guess I didn't take that out. It's got I collaged it. The reason I chose a little bit of blue in here, I like blue. Blue is my thing. And you know, you don't usually see blue in an autumn journal, but it had the brown from the tray, and tea is great in the fall, and there's just a little bit of blue. I chose to put blue on the cover just as a nod to my liking of blue. So lots of tags. In the Etsy listing, I'll count up how many tags, and I'll send extra stuff along. And because I have the ability now with the little Cricut Joy to print out names or words, if you want your own name to go on somewhere, what I can do is I'll print it out and I'll package it carefully, and then you can put it in the journal wherever you like. Or if it's a gift for somebody, yeah, it'll be probably about this big, because the smaller I do it, the less, what can you say, integrity or they bunch up. So this size is probably how large it would have to be. So let's see. This is, let's see, 1.5 inches at the tallest. Yeah, so if you'd like, I'll do your name and send it along too. Anyhow, it's the Autumn Journal. I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. I want to say thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing, and we'll see you again. Take care. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Happy crafting.